This is your first solve, a 1038. You did cross like this. That was definitely pretty bad, and I'm gonna go over why. First off, you did B moves, which are generally bad in cross sometimes. You could have done this easy solution with just U, R, and F moves like this. And it is a free pair. That's just generally a lot better because it's easier to finger trick, and D, R, and F are just good moves for crosses. But for first pair, you did this pair like this. That's like not very good. So instead of doing this pair, you should have seen this blue-orange pair because it's the 3-move insert, and you should just insert it like that. That is just generally much better because this pair is so many more moves, and it involves like a rotation. Even though this one involves a rotation, it's like a very fast rotation. But after doing the green-orange pair, you did this pair. And I don't think that was very good, as first off you had this pair right in front of you like this, so you could have just done this. That doesn't involve a rotation or anything, and it's just generally faster than doing this pair. For the third pair, you did this pair like this. That is also very bad because you had this free pair and you could have just done that. And then this pair, which is the exact same case as you see, instead of splitting stuff into 3-move pair. That still isn't bad, but doing this free pair and then doing this exact same case is just much better. But after that, you did this pair like this, which is fine. And then your last layer was fine. You did COLL. I'm not sure if that was on purpose. You're a normal OLL, but it's good. So these two are the same. These two are the same. Opposites, opposites. And then you did M moves. M move U perm. I personally like to do RU, but no complaints about last layer. Seven, 4, and you did cross like this. That was definitely, the solution was fine, but the way you executed it was bad. Here's a different way you could execute without having to do any sort of rotations. You can do F, B at the same time, D prime, F, R, D prime. Exact same solution, as you can see, just you did an unnecessary rotation, which I think was pretty bad. So yeah, that's how you, but the solution itself was fine, just the way you executed it was bad. Then you did this pair, the blue-red like this. I would not recommend doing this. I would recommend doing this one. I just feel like triple inverse sexy is kind of worse than just pairing this up and inserting it. You also could have done this pair maybe, like that. But you just did that pair like that. For the second pair, you did this pair. I probably would have done this pair, as I said before. Like this pair didn't really affect how you would solve this pair, so you could have just done that. But you did this pair like this, Again, I probably would have just done the green-orange pair, but that solution itself was fine. I just would have done the green-orange pair. For the third pair, you did this one like this. No complaints there. One little thing I will point out is you could have canceled into this pair by doing a commutator. So you could have done this, then just done this. That's just a little nitpick thing, but I think that could have improved your solve. Last pair, you did it like this. That is decent considering you did all the edges oriented. You could have done this alg to force a better last layer, or you could have even done that commutator, exact same thing that I showed before, but you did it like this. And then your last layer was fine. You did this to G perm. One thing I will say though is that you could have done an easy COLL, so you recognize it by this OLL. These two are opposite, these two are the same. Alg goes like this. You go down to Z perm. I will have to admit, I think G perm is a little better than a Z perm, but you should still know that COL alg. This is your third solve, a 10.58. Your cross pieces are here, 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 and here. What you did was this. No complaints there. That's exactly what I would have done for cross. Pretty good execution too. For the first pair, you had this free pair and you did this. That was pretty bad, as you could have just done U2 and then inserted it from the back right there and had the exact same case for your second pair. But instead you rotated, did a U2, then it rotated, then it inserted it. So again, I would probably just think, as right here, you see this. You see it's free. I know you noticed that. But you know the green and red is in the back. So I'd recommend just thinking about it and thinking about inserting it in the back. Because rotating then doing extra U2s is not ideal. But then you did that. For your second pair, you did this one like this. You're right here. I would recommend just doing rotating but then splitting it up from the front and then inserting it in the back. There's no real difference, I guess. Personally, I'm better at R moves than L moves, and I think inserting it in the back, it was a good choice, but you can insert it in the back like both ways. I just recommend pairing it up with R moves. For the third pair, you did this one like this. It definitely could have been improved. First off, you could have done a pseudo slotting and oriented all edges by doing this. Then having this good last layer. But what you did was fine. I like how you did triple inverse sexy, because triple sexy has a good amount of regrips, and I feel like triple inverse sexy is just easier to execute. That was good. And then for your last pair, you had this one, and you did this. That was fine, and it was good because you oriented all edges, so no complaints there. Here you had an anti-soon, and on the last move you should have seen, well, on the last, if you do an anti-soon, and here you see you're going to get a U-perm, you actually cancel into doing the U-perm by doing this alg. So you have this U-perm, and if you just do this alg, you could have canceled by doing RU2, R2, U prime, R2, U prime, R prime, U, R prime, U, R. This is the fourth solve. It is a 1176, and you did cross like this. That's a good cross. I have no complaints there. Plus, he gave you this free pair, so that's a pretty good cross. Although I have 2 complaints about your first pair. So first pair, you did this. And I really don't think we need to talk about why that was bad. First off, you did this pair when you should have just done this pair. Second off, you inserted this pair into the wrong spot, so for first pair, I would recommend just doing this pair, because it's a free pair, and you could just insert it into the back. And if you are going to do this pair, make sure you know where you're going to insert it, because you should just insert it like that. Although, I don't really think you should have done that pair in the first place. Yeah, you know what I mean. But then, when you had it here, then you inserted this pair, which is fine. And then you took it out, and then you inserted that pair, which is fine. Again, you could just insert it in the right spot in the first place, but it's fine. Then, you did this pair, like this. No complaints there. Then you did this pair, like this. Again, no complaints. But instead of inserting it like this and getting this all, you can actually do this winter variation that goes like this. and then you got it down in J-perm. But you just inserted it, and then you got this OLL, which you did like this. Then J-perm, which is fine in itself, but there is a really easy Z-BLL for this case. So basically, how you recognize it is these two are the same, these two are opposites. No, these are the same, these are the same, opposites, opposites, and then you have this like bar thing. So it's basically like a J-A-perm with these twisted corners, and you do R prime, Y perm, R. So this is the last solve of your average. It is a 982 is the best solve, and you did cross like this. That was fine, no complaints about cross, pretty good. But one complaint is that you didn't not track first pair. So you did pause for a good amount trying to do first pair. So after these two moves, you should see that this corner is going to come down here and this edge is going to stay up here. But then this corner is going to come back up. So then you should have just done that, and then you should have tracked that pair. But that's just what I would do. So for your first pair, you paused for a bit, then you rotated, then you did this. That was kind of bad in my opinion. I feel like from here, without doing any moves whatsoever, R, U2, R prime for this, then insert it, then you could have actually canceled into that. Because you don't have to rotate at all, just don't do any extra moves, you just see this pair in front of you the whole time, then just do that, cancel into that pair. But if you are going to do this pair, you should have just done it from the back instead of rotating and doing L moves, so it was just kind of bad. The second pair you did was this pair, no complaints here, because it's a free pair. Then the third pair again, no complaints, free pair, just insert it in the back. Last pair, you did it like this. That's fine, I guess. I probably just done it like this. And then canceled into the OLL. But the way you did it was decently fine. If you just wanted to do it without canceling into OLL, you could have just done this, which I think flows a little better than that. But whatever, it still gave you a good time. So you just did this. Your last layer was perfect. Soon U-perm. Really couldn't have asked for a better last layer. Yeah. So those are my critiques of your solves. So some main things I try to point out for you is trying to find better cross solutions, as well as not better F2L algs, but the pairs you choose themselves. Because usually for some pairs you rotate when you really don't have to rotate. The pair can be literally in front of you, or you can insert it in the back and you have to rotate for them. So I recommend working on your cross solutions and trying to rotate less for F2L pairs and trying to like find better F2L pairs, if that makes sense. So thanks so much for letting me critique your solves, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you learned something.